saying downstairs, regardless of the circumstances or what have you, with all the teams that play basketball in Division I, 351 or so, the teams that are left playing are playing because they're good. And so regardless of when you play, where you play, whatever circumstance, you're playing against a good team that has a reason to keep playing. And so I had the ultimate respect coming into the game for what Central Michigan was been about. We saw today their offensive arsenal and how well they play, pushing the ball up and quick strike. And it really concerned me, and I thought the best way to counter that was to obviously lock down the defense, and we did that just for that stretch in the second half where the lead got extended, and I knew if we got an opportunity to be really smart and calculated offensively, that we can get the shots that we desire, and that was most of it happening in and around or at the rim. And so for the guys, the post-up guys, Femi did a little bit, ball, finishing and getting the ball. JB I thought was good, solid specifically, on defense. But it was Devin, it was Max, it was Eli driving the ball and getting it into the teeth of the defense, drawing 2 and 3 defenders, and then making smart plays from there. Max was really good as he has been, last part of the season, particularly from a 3-point range. And so you put that together, we were able to get 100 points on the board and play enough defense to hold them off. But I thought, as I said going in, that the first game in any tournament that may not be the biggest dance is an opportunity, and teams have to figure out psychologically if they really want to play. And this is the toughest hump to get over, and then you understand a little bit more where you're at, and hopefully you play with a little bit more level of comfort and do what you have to do to continue to play on. So we'll take it, we'll rest for a day, and then we'll get ready to play again.
Coach, are you able to talk about any of the keys when CMU got ahead by 12 points in the first half and you guys kind of swung it to halftime?
Yeah, so I knew both teams could play offense. So when it happens that there's runs, and they had runs on us, we had runs on them, but particularly at the point at which you talk about the beginning of the game, they started out, and that's what I was talking about. I didn't want it to happen. I wasn't shocked that it happened because, again, we were trying to figure out, what is this all about? And then we got, into a rhythm, understood what the game plan was and how we needed to get baskets and get them easy. We only shot in the low 40s in the first half as compared to 66, 67 in the second half. And so when we understood what we could get offensively and how to get it, I think it helped us offensively. And then, again, like I said, we played enough defense, particularly at certain points, to stretch the lead.
What did you think about your team's ability to turn it around? A week ago, your season, we thought might have been ending, and a week later, they're playing competitive basketball again. So,
yeah, this has been a really good group to work with, and from the sense of they don't sway too much emotionally. We've had games where we haven't been as emotional as I'd like to be, but at a point in time, most of the season, we've respected the game. We respected our opponents, and the disappointment that damn near everybody faces when they don't win their conference tournament, or they're out early, or they're not chosen for whatever, has to go away. It has to go away quickly, especially when you're playing another opponent in a very short period of time, and that opponent is good, because the game requires that. So we talked a lot about it. Beginning of the game, we as I say, we got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then we locked into that moment and those moments that you have to perform, and we followed the game plan, and as a result, we were victorious.
Dave, can you talk about what this means for the DePaul program, first time being in the postseason and winning a game since 2007? So,
yeah, the two things that come to mind is, one, we have 3 seniors that I want to make sure that we honor the right way. I said this during senior day, and that for 3 different reasons, they've been very instrumental to our program in a lot more ways than what show up on the basketball floor. They've been tremendous representatives of our basketball program and this university. And so to give them an opportunity to potentially finish at the end of this as a champion is something I would really love to do for them. And then for our program and the rest of the guys, it's a great growth and learning experience. That's why we're in this, so that the guys that are coming back can understand after conference tournament weekend, that there's a lot of basketball that you can still play. And so when you go back in time to November, December, January, it's moments like these that will get you over those tough times where sometimes it doesn't seem like you can see the forest for the trees.
It seems like in the second half of the season, you found a lot more ways to score. Back in December, games were in the 60s, and even games you've lost now, you're in the 70s, and now you've had 200-point games in the last couple of weeks. How have you been able to get so many more points on the board?
Get out of their way. No, it's just balance. We at one point we thought we were a perimeter-oriented team. The other, we ended up being an inside-oriented team. And when we found that balance between good inside and good outside play, it allowed us to score the basketball more and have more and multiple people involved. And we had 4 guys in double figures, and Femi, who usually scores a lot, who had 8. So everybody really contributed in a lot of ways offensively and allowed us to put those kind of points on the board.
Coach, just talk about, I know they had the athleticism, their speed was quite impressive seeing it live. I don't know how you saw it watching it on film, but they came out really quick. But your athleticism seemed to balance out, but the size, you out rebound them plus 15, that was a pretty big margin to have that tonight as well.
Yeah, and rebound is something we think we've done pretty well this year, our aggressiveness, but 2, our size and our length allows us to protect our defensive backboard and get a lot of offensive rebounds. We had 15 today and knew that was somewhere between 15 and 20 was somewhere we wanted to get to. And it just allows us to have many more second opportunities on offense and then prevent second opportunities from your opponent, in this case CMU. So combine that with the ability to, at each position, have something we could go to, whether it's a play call or somebody in a place to score, and that created the kind of balance that I think wore them down.
How much do you know about Longwood?
It's about an hour from where I used to live, and it's a good furniture place.
Anything else? Maksim Eli combined for 53 points tonight. How did you see them kind of embrace this opportunity leading up to today?
Yeah, both of those guys we talked about, for a long period of time of being frontline guys for us, and when they can do it together, they did it tonight, they did it against Georgetown, and other times, then it makes us a whole lot better, because Femi's not going anywhere, and Paul's not going anywhere, so those guys have to be guarded, and when you can combine it with with Eli and Max having to be guarded, in a lot of different ways, both inside and out, then it makes us really dangerous, but it makes them a real special part of what we're doing, particularly, as I said at the beginning, when they're seniors, you want them to play the way they're playing and go out on a high.
When did you know that you were going to be invited? And after you were eliminated in New York last week, did you think that there would still be a chance to play more ball?
Well, we were optimistic. I think we were on the board for both NIT and CBI, and so I told the team in New York that there's, in all likelihood, we'd still be playing basketball next week. Didn't know what that meant, but we were hopeful, and we got this opportunity, and we chose to seize the moment, and we're going to continue to do that.
Coach, you talked about the difficulty of getting over the psychological hump of figuring out if you want to play when you're in the CBI. What was the process for your team of getting over that hump, and when did you get over it?
Well, I think both individually and collectively, you gotta find out, what's going on with the guy and where they're at, and again, introduce them to what opportunities lie ahead in postseason. My thing, as I looked at myself in the mirror and presented it to the group, was it doesn't matter. If you're a competitor and somebody asks you to compete, you compete. That's the game of basketball. It's the game of life. And so if we choose to do that, then we are obligated as a competitor to put your best foot forward. And in this case, for all the reasons we just talked about, being in postseason play for our seniors and for our program is significant. And at any point in time, and there's not that many teams that get to do that. And unfortunately, everybody puts so much emphasis on what, as well it should. I understand it, but basketball and competitiveness and playing for championships is special. It is special to at whatever level, whatever. If you ask anybody to do that, if they bark at it, then they can't call themselves a competitor.
Thoughts on playing at McGrath Phillips as compared to Wintrust?
Say it again?
Thoughts of playing at McGrath Phillips in terms of the atmosphere? as
Well,
opposed to
yeah, I just
Wintrust?
said it downstairs, Ray, before I said anything, and I'd be remiss if not to say it here, our fan base today was phenomenal. You know, they turned out in droves, they were loud, it helped our guys, when we made consecutive shots and went on runs, you could feel it in the gym, and that was tremendous, so I give all the credit in the world to the fans for turning out. Hopefully we continue to play some more home games so we can have that again.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Maxim Eli.